Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Deja vu all over again, baby. It's your boy, the SuperBack Shawn Sierra. Sorry, I had to, something came up and I had to run and take care of some business. But we're all good, baby. We're all good. We're back, baby. We're back. And we're going to keep you till 12 o'clock. And then at 12 o'clock, we'll give you a little break, a bathroom break. And at 12:15, Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown will entertain you for the next 2 hours. You know, I was talking about the Bullies when I left. All right. I was talking about the Bulls and saying how much I like the way that they're playing right now. Okay. But I wanted to talk a little Bears, or a lot of Bears, and finish up the show that way. My man Junior, he's in the house. What's up, Papa? Patty with Jeremiah in the house, baby. Jeremiah. I love it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I want to talk a little Bears. You know, and I wanted to talk about the game on Sunday. But I also wanted to talk about some of the nonsense that people have been, spewing. Yeah. It's because, I just feel that when people are pushing their agenda, they don't give you the whole story. Okay, what people do is they take stats and facts and they present them to you in a way that gets you to think along those lines. They don't tell you stats or statistics that alter the stats that they paraded in front of you. They won't tell you that. And for whatever reason, especially Bears media, they're so negative all the time. Everyone is so negative. And I don't understand why. Like, I thought we're here to root for the Bears and not pick them apart at every corner and get people fired and want people don't let people develop. And if they're not, and oh, he's not doing it, get him out of here. He hasn't passed for 10,000 yards. He's a bust. Our defense did this. Fire them. You know, we're all, and I've mentioned this before, at all of us at one point or another, we're a rookie or a beginner or a novice in some aspect of our lives. Maybe it was our new job. Maybe it was being a parent. Maybe it was being a coach. Maybe it was being a player. Maybe it was being a manager, a supervisor. At some particular point, we were all rookies. We were all beginners. We were all first timers. And people gave us grace because of that situation. And I'm asking you do the same. Some people have, and don't get me wrong, there have been mistakes, yes. But our coach isn't the only one who's made mistakes. Other coaches have made mistakes as well. Our players aren't the only ones who've made mistakes. Other players have made mistakes as well. You know, my question, one of the questions I have for you is, if we told you, and how many times, if we told you you have a chance to go 8-9 this year. I said they were going to win 10. It wasn't for a couple of slip-ups, 3 slip-ups. We're sitting pretty there, but we're not. But if we told you we have a chance to go 8-9 after going 3-14 last year, what would your feeling be about that? What would it be? Shawn, yes. Everything is fine. If you don't know what he's talking about, this was funny. So the question that I asked Justin Fields in the locker room, or in the post-game press conference, was one that kind of that whole situation went viral. Okay. That whole situation went viral, which I thought was pretty weird. I got a call, and actually, no, Shawn texted me. He tagged me on Twitter and said, "Hey, here's, they're talking about you on Burnsy and Holmes." I was like, "Oh, that's dope." So I went to the app, because the app is about 3 minutes behind the actual radio. It's about 3 minutes, give or take. All right. And so I'm like, cool, let me check it out. So it was funny. So I go there and I check it out. And yeah, they're talking about me. I'm like, holy cow. So they didn't know who I was. They were like, they played the clip coming out of break. And then Lawrence says, yeah, it wasn't the person who asked the question, wasn't the person you thought. I guess many people thought it was Dan Wiederer. Because he's another, a lot of these guys are negative Nancy's. And I think it's kind of funny because Justin Fields thinks I'm a negative Nancy now too. I think it's hilarious. And so they're like, they find out who it is. So they say it wasn't, and then somebody says, I think it's, I don't know, it's someone who doesn't cover the Bears on a regular basis. He only covers them at home games. He's not at Hallis. He's not on the road, but he covers them at home. And they're trying to figure out, and they're like, oh, ask Grody. Mark Grody, he's always in there. They said he's in the hallway, ask him. So he was there. He came on, and he was like, oh, yeah. Well, I've introduced myself to Mark Grody damn near every week. Okay? Damn near every week. Because I had met him when Maya and I were working with Jerry Riles and the Rewind Sports 60. We did a show up in Wrigleyville, and Mark Grody had come down and did the show with us. So I said, hey, you know, one of the times, like, hey, listen, I'm Shawn Sierra. I said we met. I said I was with Jerry and Rewind. Oh yeah, great. How you doing? Good to meet you. Blah 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 blah. So then, and every other time I'd be like, hey, hey Mark, how you doing? Which and I introduce myself because I don't expect people to remember me because I know I'm bad with names. Same thing with David Hall. I see David Hall all the time. Like, hey David, how you doing? Whatever. So I'm listening, and this is hilarious. You're gonna love this. Watch this. It's about 4 minutes. It'll take us to the bottom of the hour, but this is hilarious. This was 2 days ago. This was Monday.
You're listening to Bernstein and Holmes, middays 10 to 2. Your midday destination for Chicago sports talk on 670 The Score in Odyssey Station.
Because everything, this year you have the short yardage, so you have to have a jumbo package. I know they were a few teams have borderline eligible this year.
Yeah.
Tight end, motion, whatever. You guys have anything in the playbook like that? Because a lot of times you have touch push, tight end touch push, pitch, all these cute fancy things, as opposed to just lining up and smacking somebody in the mouth. You have something in the playbook where you can do that and just say, hey, we're getting 1 yard, you can't stop us.
Yeah, we do. But we just didn't run it. Yeah.
Of course we haven't. We have that play where we can line up and, block people and fall forward for a yard, but why would we run that? We can run our Tootsie Fruitsy stuff and have somebody else take the hand off. And it's asked and answered right there. Very simple. And then Justin went on to say something like, the first time I got a positive question from you, I'll be happy. And I couldn't figure out who was asking my question.
It wasn't who you thought, though. It wasn't any of our peeps.
It wasn't right.
Why does that person hate the Bears?
They talked about this on the Take the North episode that came out yesterday, if you want to check it out. And I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he's somebody that doesn't regularly cover the team, like on the road. He's only at home.
Yeah,
games.
he doesn't. I've seen him at press conferences. He doesn't really go to Hallis, but usually after the game, he has a question about things. Maybe Grody. Grody's in the hallway. Ask Grody. There are two.
No, he is. He's a really nice guy. He always introduces himself to me.
Apparently not successfully.
He knows his name is Greg. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's good.
This is the first week I remember his name, but he's a really good, nice guy. But apparently, Fields is headed to this negativity. Yeah.
I think that it's okay to ask some harder questions.
That's
in
not
press
negative.
conferences.
I don't think it's. I think if anything, he's being supportive of
Fields.
Right.
Yes.
It sounded like to me that gave Fields an opportunity. Maybe Fields is saying, well, you're setting this up to make me say something bad.
I'm going to end up being the bad guy.
I believe it's Shawn Sierra.
It's Shawn Sierra. Do you know who Shawn Sierra is, Groats?
Oh, it's. But I will say this. The very first question that Justin Fields was asked in that press conference was about his interception. So he had no problem with that. But when old Greg comes along,
it's not or Shawn.
It's Shawn. Hey, Shawn, I'm going to tell you right now.
Nice guy. Always introduce himself.
Shawn, if you are listening, I am sorry. I am an idiot, and you are a really nice guy, and you ask good.
Here he is trying to protect the identity of somebody, and we just blow it up.
Oh, yeah. I think it is Shawn. I think because now that I see Shawn, I think it is Shawn. Because I've seen Shawn before. I have never introduced myself to him as Greg. But
no, that's okay.
Maybe Shawn is introducing himself to him as Greg.
Yeah, that's Shawn. That's not Greg. Yeah, I think Shawn probably. I think he coached at some point because his questions come off as someone who has coached ball at some level.
Yeah, he's a really smart guy.
Oh, doesn't he have a podcast?
Yeah,
Shawn?
he does.
Yeah. I bet Shawn.
But I bet Shawn has coached. Like he seems like a guy that's like
you never miss it.
Like a high school coach or like a juniors coach, because that's how his questions, whenever I've been in the room, sound like a guy who coached ball.
Good job, Grody.
But his name is Shawn, just for future reference. Shawn Sierra. Go introduce. He may have introduced himself as Greg, but his name is Shawn.
So, to set the record straight, I did not introduce myself as Greg. I thought it was crazy. It was hilarious. So I posted that on my Facebook. So if you're watching, make sure you go check that out on Facebook. Dude, it was hilarious. So it was surreal. All right, it was surreal. AC Adam, good morning, Papa. How are you? So it was surreal listening to them talk about me. You know, I thought it was pretty cool, but two, it was surreal. And I've never introduced myself as Greg. So where he got Greg from, I don't even look like a Greg. Not that I know what a Greg looks like, but nonetheless, like I don't look like a Greg. That's funny. I told Mondo and Monica, you are now Theo Greg. That's awesome. That could be my alter ego. Theo Greg. Uncle Greg. So that was trending. It was crazy. So I get a call yesterday, or was it Monday as well? I think it was Monday as well. So I get a call from a buddy of mine, one of the managers over at Output. He's like, "Hey, bro." It goes, "I was driving into work and I was listening to the CHGO podcast and they mentioned your name." I was like, "Oh, who mentioned it?" He's like, "I don't remember." I'm like, "Well," I was like, "Was it Herb?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Was it the black dude?" Because it's all white dudes and a black dude. I was like, and Herb. I was like, and guys, you know Herb Howard from the Bigs. I was like, "Was it Herb?" He's like, "Was it a black dude?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, it's the only other person from CSGO in the room is Nicholas." I was like, "Was it Nicholas Moriano?" He's like, yeah, that's it. That's it. I said, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I said, "Nick and I are good friends." I said, I had him on the show and he was part of the Chicago Audible, his own podcast and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, cool." And then if you hear, they said they mentioned it on Take the North podcast as well. They also mentioned it on Mully and Hall on Monday. And Zach Zaban took a little shot at me. He was just saying, "No, Mully was out, but Hall was in." Hall and Zach Zaban. He was like, and they brought up the short yardage situation. And then Zaban's like, "Oh, you could just," I don't remember the exact words, so don't quote me. He said something like, "Or you can just badger Justin Fields or ask Justin Fields those questions." Okay. And then later that day on ESPN, Coach Eberflus was talking with Waddle and Sylvie. Waddle was out, but Sylvie was in. And they asked him about short yardage situation. I know my football. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I know football. And and if you listen to the question, I'm giving him examples of the cute stuff that doesn't work, that hasn't worked. The pitch, him running around the side and remember the missed block by Darnell Mooney, or the pitch to DJ Moore when they're looking for the tush push, or they run the tush push, or the tight end tush push, or the pitch to Deontay Foreman and Cole Kmet didn't block Myles Garrett against Cleveland. All you had to do was get a body at him, not even a pancake, just a body. Get him to step laterally first before he comes upfield. Didn't do it. And I said, "Why?" I said, number 69 reported as eligible 4 times. Why? We don't have anything like that. And so now all of a sudden, a lot of people are talking about it because that kills drives. We talked about, and how many times they're saying, "Well, the Bears have blown 3 leads. The Bears have blown this. The Bears they had a double-digit lead." Yeah, well, you know what? There was a point when there was a 3rd and short in all those games when they had the lead. There was a 3rd and short that they didn't get. They had to give the ball away and allow the other team to score. You come down, you get that 3rd and 1, you take another minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock. At worst, you force the other team to use timeouts. And if you get another first down after they use their timeouts, game, set, match. So when you see this and you're like, "Well, the Bears are not this, and Justin Fields isn't that, and this and this," look, you realize that, yeah, Justin Fields has to work around this offensive play calling. And again, I am not absolving Justin of any fault. There's things he needs to do better. He needs to hit receivers better. He needs to run. Sometimes it's best not to stay in the pocket. Okay? Sometimes it's best. All right? Protect the ball a little more, he's got to do. And he has been, but that's another point of interest. he can't miss wide open receivers. He just can't. He's got to be a little more risky sometimes. Force it into DJ Moore. Like if you threw a pick because you do it to DJ Moore was double covered, he couldn't come down with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because you know what that does? Here's what that does. What that does is that keeps that safety leaning toward or whoever the double teamer was, which is most likely the safety. That keeps that double teamer, that safety, leaning toward Justin Fields because he's going to want another one. And you know what that does? That opens it up for Darnell Mooney. That opens it up for Tyler Scott. That opens it up for Velus Jones Jr. That opens it up more for a Cole Kmet. So I don't mind if you try and force feed it down to DJ Moore. I'm okay. Junior, yeah, it was fourth down. And Justin came up less than a yard short because he got tripped up and he couldn't. Come on, man. All you needed was a bump by Darnell Mooney on that DB. A bump. Which showed me he checked out. Because if you remember in the Miami game last year where Justin had that long run, Darnell Mooney comes full speed and he can't hit the guy because it's a crackback block and those are illegal now. But he gets it. He comes and he gets in front of him, puts his hands in front of the dude. The dude obviously has to slow down, and those are legal blocks. Okay, those are legal. You get in front of a guy, you just put your hands up saying, I'm not hitting him, no. And Justin was able to score. And I'm like, I said, that showed me that Darnell Mooney was done for the year. Then he goes and self-checks in for a concussion. Now, let me ask you this. Unless there was pain involved, unless he couldn't see, unless there was an issue, physical issue, are you going to go check yourself in for a concussion? If you play this game and you're in this chat, would you say, hey, listen, let me go get myself taken out of possibly playing the rest of the season? Let me go do that. Who does that? Because he did it himself. He walked in and self-diagnosed that I think I might have a concussion. Another sign to me that he's done for the season. Another sign. But I digress. These short yardage things, they're talking about it now. Now people are noticing this. Think about if you DVR'd the game, go back and watch it. Go back and see all the different times that we're up and we don't convert a third and short, a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1. Like Ja'Tyre Carter is my guy. That would be my lineman that I report as eligible and have him in motion, wham blocking a 3-tech. And you know the great part about it is you could pick who the hell you're going to let come free. So the defense has no clue. You want to do the nose tackle? Cool, no problem. No problem. You snap the ball when Ja'Tyre is by the guard. You snap the ball, the center comes down, the nose tackle is excited, and boom, here comes Ja'Tyre Carter. Fullback up the middle, tailback right behind him. No, you want to do the 3-tech to the right of him? Cool, no problem. Right guard, block down, boom, same thing. Want to do another guy here, or the defensive end. Then you get crazy with it. You have him go in motion and come back. Whoa. But what you do is you send a message. What you do is you say, we are not here. We're not here to play around. We're here to get this 1 yard, keep this drive going, run down the clock more, win this God-blessed game. That's what we're here for. And let me tell you, when I talked about it earlier with Andre Drummond, does anyone go up to block Andre Drummond's shot when he gets the ball down low? Does anybody? Nope. Why? Because he dunks the hell out of that ball. 2 hands, usually. Your 1-hand shot, and that dude's 290 pounds. He's 6'11", 290. So you 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", 195 pounds, 210 pounds. You're going to put your hand up there when he's got two hands and 290 and he's cocked behind his head about to ram it in? You're going to put your hand in the way? No. So he set the tone. He lets other people know what to expect, and they know. They're like, you know what? I'll take that too. Go ahead. You got it. And this is the thing I want the Bears to do. I want teams to say, oh, shit, here it comes. Here it comes. Then you can leak him out. Tyreek Carter's a great athlete. Leak him out in the flat. Fullback, tailback, block. I mean, there's so many different things you can do off of that, bringing him in. But we don't want to do it. And then these jamokes are like, oh, they've gotten creative with the offense. No, you haven't. No, you haven't gotten creative with the offense. But they'll tell you, if you listen to people like that, they'll tell you. And then what do? You go and spew it out to other people. Well, they've gotten creative with the offense. They changed the offense for Justin. No, they haven't. A couple of design runs is not changing the offense for Justin. Moving the pocket, that's one. Cutting the field in half, that's another way. Cutting the field in half and having to say, hey, low to high or high to low, however you want to read it. And if you don't see it, 1, 2, 3, then you go. Period. Just run. Get him under center. Get his feet together. Get his feet in rhythm. Get his feet timed up with routes. That's catering and forming your offense around your quarterback. Allowing him to run, not asking too much. What you want to do is you want to get confidence for him. He doesn't have the confidence that he had at Ohio State. At Ohio State, he didn't run. He just sat back and picked you apart. You know, and they're talking about, well, you know, they said, I look at it this way, is what they said this morning. I look at it this way. If you take any of the quarterbacks today, you put them on the Bears, this Bears team is much better. I said, okay, which is probably true to a certain extent. First of all, I'd say not much better, but here's the question that I ask you. Are you putting those guys in before? Are you talking about putting Patrick Mahomes here before he was with Andy Reid? So if you drafted him and put him in here, he'd be the two-time MVP, two-time Super Bowl winner and MVP. Excuse me, one MVP. He'd be that dude here in Chicago. You mean to tell me Josh Allen, if you drafted him, if you don't remember, they tried to run him out of Buffalo until Brian Daboll got there? Same thing with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Same thing with Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville. So you got Doug Peterson. Joe Burrow has had Brian Callahan his whole career. They said Justin Herbert. Oh, but he only had Kellen Moore, one of the best offensive minds. I'm surprised he didn't have, I think he did have a head coaching gig and it just fell back somewhere. Then they mentioned Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton had Mike Shula when he was an MVP. So we're talking offensive minds here with these quarterbacks. Give me an offensive mind for my Justin Fields. Give me an offensive mind. Because Matt Nagy ain't one of them. Well, you see what's happening to the best quarterback in the league now. He don't look like the GOAT or the baby GOAT or the best quarterback in the NFL. Not with Nagy calling plays, not with Nagy by his side. But you don't think coaching matters. These negative Nancy's, these guys they're spitting propaganda, don't think coaching matters, so they don't mention it. Or they know it matters, so they don't mention it. Then they even mentioned Cutler. Like, oh, well, we waited for Cutler. Listen to the names of the offensive coordinators that Cutler had 6, 7, and 8 years. 7 and 8 years. Ron Turner left after 2009. Cutler's first year here. Marsh was here 2 years, but you know what? He said, yeah, I'm getting rid of Greg Olsen, because I don't use the tight end. And Olsen might only be a Hall of Famer somewhere down the line, but we don't need him because I don't use tight ends in my offense. Mike Tice, there's a great offensive mind. I think of creativity when I think of Mike Tice. Mark Trustman, or Aaron Cromer for 13 and 14. Those are great offensive minds. Adam Gase. That's real creativity and offense and offensive potency when I think of Adam Gase. And then Dow Loggins. See, and then they don't tell you, well, he's like Lamar. And Lamar, at this point, you know who Lamar had? I told you, they already went back to Louisville and brought his system from Louisville to Baltimore. And he was also coached by Greg Roman. So you can't listen to these blowhards who don't know jack shit. They don't. It's an agenda. They're trying to get you to believe. And why? I don't know. Why like I said earlier, why the Justin Fields hate? I don't know. Justin Fields probably thinks I hate him too, but that's the furthest thing from the truth. Because the talent that this man has is he's the most talented quarterback we've had, better than Cutler. Cutler might have had a stronger arm, but that's not saying that that Fields doesn't have a strong arm. He has a very strong arm. But he can run a hell of a lot better than Cutler. That we know. So we're trying to help you understand, like, you can't believe everyone you hear. Joy Taylor on Speak. Same nonsense. Colin Cowherd, same nonsense. So not only are we getting it locally, we're getting it nationally. And I told you before, don't listen to national news. They don't follow your team. They don't know what's going on. And if they do say something, they gloss over. Yeah, well, Cutler, yeah, he had it tough. He had, 6 coordinators in 8 years. But man, he was criticized for being a bad leader. He was criticized for this. He was criticized for that. And you know what? I can't speak to that. All I can say is maybe he got tired of having a goddamn offensive coordinator a new one every single year. Maybe that's what he was pissed about. Maybe that was, and don't get me wrong, I'm not absolving him from being a leader. No, he should have been a better leader. But when you see the organization doesn't care and they keep giving you new offensive coordinators every year, and the one that you kept for 2 years was Martz, and you traded away my favorite target, and then the second time you had the guys for 2 years, you had Trestman and Aaron Cromer. Really? And you want quarterbacks to develop with those types of quarterback people? I'm looking forward to this. I really hope Justin Fields first of all, I hope Justin wants to stay. All right? Because I don't think, why would you let Justin go? Trade him, get rid of him, whatever. He goes on to have a great career. And we can have that here. Isn't that part of your job description, Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren? Getting a guy who maximizes the potential of your quarterback. Isn't that your job? You have a star in the making. He's played at the highest level you could play before getting to the pros. College football national championship game, the college football playoffs, both years as a starter at Ohio State. So the moment's not too big for him. The coaching is not good enough for him. So do you run it back with Eberflus? He's got a case. All he's got to say is, hey, we won 3 games last year, and right now I'm at 6. We win Sunday, that's 7. We win the following week. Mess up Green Bay, that's 8 wins. From 3 wins to 8 wins. Almost tripled the amount of wins you had from the previous year. So there could be a case for Eberflus to stay. But who do you get as defensive coordinator? And more importantly, who do you get as an offensive coordinator? And then you talk about marrying And here's the thing. You got to marry your head coach or your offensive play caller and your quarterback. Okay. What if you don't have a good marriage? What if a quarterback can't run those things you want? What if your quarterback that you're grabbing, that is the generational talent, is a system quarterback and doesn't fit your system? But he's generational, so we have to draft him. Case in point. Oh, shit, that's really small. Miller Moss. So, Caleb Williams sat out the bowl game because he doesn't want to get hurt for the NFL draft, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what does this guy do? 28 for 33, 385 yards and 6 touchdowns. So now all of a sudden, is it Caleb Williams that's a generational talent, or is he a product of a system? This guy was he a redshirt sophomore, I want to say? It's a USC bowl game record. The 6 touchdowns. It ties a Pac-12 bowl game record with 6 touchdowns. It's a Holiday Bowl record. And this is in his first start. And he throws for 385 yards. Well, he's the next generational talent then. I really hope, and Justin's preparing for it, of course. But I want Justin, I'm waiting for him to go ham. I'm waiting for him to get back to the Justin we had right before he got hurt. The Justin Fields, 3 touchdowns, 2 games in a row right before he got hurt. The Justin Fields running the offense that should have been run for him when the season started, not waited until he complained about the coaching. Yeah, that Justin. Yeah. And this defense. Look at this defense. This defense went from 31st in the league against the run. 31st to 1st. They're giving up 80 yards, 80.9 yards, 81 yards a game on the ground. 81 yards a game on the ground. Best in the NFL from second worst. And you don't think this is going to help Justin? See, there's so many things that go on in a football game. There's so many things that have to go right for a team to win a football game. Not a string of games, a game. I'm tired of these people with this agenda. Give everyone the truth. Give everyone all the facts so they can make a decision. Give them all the facts. Give them the fact that they haven't got a quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer, a great offensive mind for Justin. Let's not leave that out, but prop up every other quarterback that has had one of those guys to work with. See, Justin's not doing what they're doing. Justin hasn't been coached as well as those guys have. But let me go back to the defense. This defense, they are feeling themselves, and they should be. And they should be. You get, Ryan Poles, I would love to see what you're going to do with that number 1 overall pick, assuming we get it. Again, all Carolina has to do is lose one of the final 2 games, and they secure the worst record and the number 1 pick, which will come to us. Go to Washington. Go to Washington. You talk, hey, give me 2 first-rounders in Deron Payne. Give me 2 first-rounders and who's the other D lineman? Bellissimo, good morning. Good afternoon, Papa. Who's the other D-line? I just forgot him. I know we got Montez Sweat. Chase Young's in San Francisco. Deron Payne they signed him, but then who's the other guy? I can't think of him. Someone put his name in there. The other defensive, Jonathan Allen. Thank you. You don't want to give me Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen? Then give me scary Terry McLaurin. Oh, and I'm still drafting a wide receiver too. So you got DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, and a stud wide receiver in the top 3 picks. If you trade with, because here's the draft order right now. After last week, going into today, the Bears, Arizona, Washington. Now, what does Washington do? Does Washington take Marvin Harrison Jr., or do they say, hey, look what the Bears did last year? They got a haul of picks. Are the Arizona Cardinals one player away from becoming really good? The answer to that is no. So does their GM say, hey, I'll trade out of this pick because we got a quarterback. We're going to get 3 or 4 picks. We'll get 2 first-rounders. Maybe 3. But let's just say 2 first-rounders. So you got another first-rounder this year. Or you'll switch because you'll get their first round this year. You'll get a first round next year. And maybe a second. Or whatever else you negotiate. Maybe a player. You saw what the Bears did. They brought in DJ Moore. What if Arizona does the same thing? It's a copycat league, remember? Remember the NFL's a copycat league. So if we trade with Washington, Arizona decides to trade out for someone else to get a quarterback. We're at 3. Guess who's sitting at 3? Marvin Harrison Jr. So just sit back and think about this for a second. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr. Let me repeat that. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr. That is a real possibility. That's a real possibility. Now you're cooking with gas. Now there's no, so now next year you can truly evaluate Justin. And you know my pick up his 5th-year option because now he's budgeted. You know what he's going to cost. If you want to get rid of him, whoever wants him, they know what he's going to cost. But now you can truly evaluate Justin. You got to get a center. So I say go get a veteran center in the offseason and get Cedric Van Pran if you can, the kid from Georgia, so he can take over in 25 or maybe even at the end of 24, but in 25. But if you want a left tackle, what if Alt falls? What if Olu falls? What if you want to go back up and with your pick, you want to go back up and get your guy? You want Olu. Okay. Houston did it. 2 picks back to back. We have draft capital. These are all things that are possible. The Bears are in a great spot. Great spot. And don't get me wrong, I think Atlanta's a pretty decent team. Bijan Robinson was like, oh, we got to stop him. Yeah, we do. But guess what? He's not running. They're not utilizing him properly. We know about that. Not utilizing superstars to their max potential. We know about that shit firsthand. We know about that. And that's the strength of our team as a defense. Yeah, I'll take my chances. You got to worry about Bijan, and we got to worry about Kyle Pitts. That's it for all intents and purposes. That's it. For all intents and purposes, that's it. So you know what? Listen, 45 minutes is coming on. It's 12 o'clock. Don't forget, 12:15, you have Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. But I'm going to give you my pick. 35-10 Bears. 35-10 Bears. Because I want to see if the Bears, and I'm anxious to see if they keep their foot on the gas pedal. I'm anxious to see aggressive play calling when you're up 10, 12 points. I'm anxious to see aggressive play calling if you're up 28, 21, 28 to 10, 21 to 10. I want to see aggressive play calling, even though it's a 2-score game. I want to see aggressive play calling if you're up 28 to 10, if you're up 28 to 3. That's my prediction for Sunday. 35-10 Bears. Man, it's been a phenomenal show. Crazy how it was broken up in the middle. Man. Guys, everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, from executive producer Elliot Baez, our producer Steve Weekly, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and then my co-host and absentia Maya. I want to wish you all a very happy new year. All right. Do yourself a favor. Okay. Do yourself a favor. Okay. And be careful. If you can stay in, or if you can get a Lyft, an Uber over the weekend, do that. We won't be here Monday, New Year's Day. I will probably come back Tuesday. So we'll go Tuesday and Wednesday. If things change, I'll let you know. But I think Monday we'll have the day off, even though the Bears play. But Happy New Year, guys, from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago. We appreciate, we love you, and we appreciate the support that you give us, and we're grateful for the support that you show us. You know what? Hit the like button. No one's hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Okay. Tell your friends. Smash that like button. Hit your friends. It helps us. The more likes you get, it helps us. The more you pump it out to your friends, it helps us. All right. We're doing a lot of good stuff. See, this year I was able to get credentialed. All right. That's another big step for Sports Zone Chicago. Now we have more things on the horizon in 2024, but we need your help. All right. We want to bring you the best possible Chicago sports coverage around. So we need your help. Do us that favor. Pub it out to your peoples, your family, your friends. All right. When I'm going to post up a schedule for all the shows in Sports Zone Chicago on Facebook. All right. Repost it, retweet it. I'm going to put it on Twitter as well. Retweet it. We appreciate your support and your love. But I have to go. I got to meet up a buddy of mine. I'm looking forward to having lunch with him. It's going to be fun. I haven't seen him in a minute. So we're able to, got to head over to Downers Grove. And, yeah. Again, have a wonderful, wonderful and happy new year. Spend a time with your loved ones. As I said, for Christmas, send them a text, give them a call, FaceTime them, something. Just say, hey, man, I miss you. I know we're not together this year. Or, hey, mom, hey, aunt, uncle, friends, whatever. Let your loved ones know that you love them. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year. AC Adam, Happy New Year. Shawn, Patty, Jr., Berlissimo. All right, J2K. He didn't check back in today in this one. Shawn, I think I said AC Adam. And everybody, I appreciate it. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Happy New Year from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago. I am out.